You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, James Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's The Amazing Race After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The Amazing Race After Show.
Hello, everybody, and good evening. If you are watching AfterBuzzTV.com, you are watching The Amazing Race After Show for Season 24, All-Stars, Episode 9, Accidental Alliance. I'm your host, James Wallington, and with me tonight are the wonderful...
Hey guys, I'm Jessica Carroll, and...
Hi everybody, I am Justin Nichols. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I like Monday nights are my favorite nights because we all get to come together.
Yeah,
and
truly.
we all usually share the same opinions on the episode, which is nice, especially last night's episode. I feel like we all are pretty across the board about our thoughts, which we will share with you in just a second. But I think if anyone was following me on Twitter last night, they know that I thought last night's episode was a little bit of a snore fest. It was a little boring, to say the least. That I found a Viner by the name of Colt Paulson.
Paulson.
Yes, who made a 6-second, Vine video that was very Amazing Race appropriate that I found to be more entertaining than a 45-minute show.
Really?
Yes.
And you even got his permission, right?
I did. Colt Paulson told me to play it tonight, so thank you, Colt. So let's take a look.
Colt Paulson, that is awesome. All right, so everyone make sure they go on Vine.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
First of all, Colt Paulson, that is brilliant.
That is
and I now
amazing.
have a new person to follow on Vine. Now, for those of you that are maybe listening in their car right now on the podcast, if you're not watching this on YouTube, what we're laughing at and what we just said offer was the most unbelievable Vine where we got to see again what happened several seasons ago.
Yes.
Where someone got hit in
Season
the face with a
17.
watermelon.
It's probably one of the most infamous moments of the series when Brooke and Claire are at a roadblock, I believe. And I think Claire had a little bit of an accident with a watermelon.
A little bit? A little bit? How is she alive?
Basically, watermelon to the face.
How is she alive?
My question is, why aren't they not on All Stars?
That deserves it.
That deserves an all-star.
That is worthy.
Yeah, that's an all-star video, and that team deserves to be an all-star.
Well, thank you for that, Vine. Everybody go follow him. I'm sure the rest of his videos are phenomenal.
They are hilarious. So, Colt, thank you for giving us permission to show it tonight.
Absolutely.
And if you make any other Amazing Race appropriate Vines, feel free to send us the link because we will gladly show that.
That should be our new thing, like Amazing
Vine
Race.
of the week.
Like, please send us, make Amazing Race Vines, and let us choose, like, what we think is, like, the greatest one, and oh my God, it's gonna be great.
I love that idea.
I love
Why are we
that
just
idea.
now thinking of this?
That's our new thing. We're going to totally do it. Cool.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's just dive into episode 9, shall we?
Yes.
They are all in that one town in Italy.
In Rome.
Yes, they have to catch the train in Rome, which is a 400-mile train ride to Chiasso, Switzerland.
Ooh.
But that was beautiful. Like the train ride through the Alps, like come on.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Stunning.
Yeah.
So we see Brunchel leave at 6:13 a.m., the Cowboys at 7:23 a.m., Afghanimals 7:34 a.m., and then Dave and Connor 7:45 with the country singers at Dave and Connor 7:44 with the country singers at 7:45.
That was close, James. That would
How
have
can
been.
you screw up those few last
Guys,
minutes?
my mind was so frantic.
You're still on the
last night.
watermelon.
So they were told in their clue that they had to take this train to Chiasso, Switzerland, and then take a Ford Focus.
I have that written down. Drink.
Yep.
Take a shot. They take a Ford Focus to Altdorf, where they will find their next clue at the Tell Monument. So it starts off pretty normal, like every episode.
Pretty simple.
Here's a route marker. But this is when it kind of got a little predictable. It's an equalizer leg. Let's face it.
Yeah, for sure.
Which,
Right.
And you could tell right from the beginning. You're right. Obviously, almost all the teams made the exact same train. Oh my gosh.
They all made the exact same train, and then once they got to the statue where they had to find their next clue, they all had to wait until the morning anyways. So equalizer after another equalizer.
Which immediately, like, ding, 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 it's going to be a non-elimination.
Yeah.
That seems to be the trend in Amazing Race.
Right.
So we also see a little bit of like the interviews, prior to the like really unfolding. We hear Brenchel say that they want to be in the top 3 and win, and they're not going to stop at anything to make that happen.
Right.
Yeah. Like they are going to be in the top 3.
Who cares? They all hate us. Blah, blah.
Exactly. Then we have Dave and Connor who are still hung up on
the age.
They made a poor choice and U-turning us. But as we pointed out when we watched it tonight, Justin, that was an interview from last leg, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So just to carry on the story, they're probably using recycled clips of them complaining.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. God, this episode. Anyway.
And then Leo and Jamal mentioned...
Whoa, sorry.
Whoa, hi, speaking phone.
Got a text from my sister. All right.
Whoa, that was cool.
Thanks.
Okay, anyway, so Leo and Jamal mentioned that that was their 3rd time being U-turned in their Amazing Race history, which is still pretty cool. They're still in the race, going full force. And then Jen and Caroline, said that they were like the 4 Musketeers with Dave and Connor. And I loved that she kept mentioning how dare Brenchel's U-turn the guy with the great hair. And then they did like a slow-mo of his hair and his little flip hair. He has great hair, but I just thought that was funny.
I mean, Justin, go ahead.
And here's my thing. And to be honest with you, though, James, I am terrified to even mention anything on this show right now because the Twitter comments have been going so crazy, not only with the stuff that we're talking about on Twitter, but also with the contestants. I know you'll get into that in a little bit. The thing is that everyone on this show seems to be getting so upset with Brenchel. And I will come out and say all season long, you guys know that I am not the biggest Brenchel fan. And I know even just saying that, I'm probably going to get some backlash on that. However, I want every one of the contestants right now to back the hell off with this U-turn. They did it. It's part of the race.
This is
Trust
true.
me, I would love to wave my Get Brenchel flag, right?
Yeah.
I would say go get him. And I'm looking for any reason, but U-turning someone is not a reason to hate them. It's just part of the race.
Right. And I mean, honestly, if you think about it, Leo and Jamal could be just as mad for being U-turned, but they're just pinpointing Brenchel. Right. And they're doing it just because it's an excuse.
Right. Yeah. I think it's just funny that other teams are upset that Dave and Connor were U-turned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I get Dave and Connor, don't get me wrong, are a likable team.
Right.
And yeah, they have a lot of things about them that you just can't help but love and root for them.
Of course.
But at the same time, like when the singers, I mean, I don't mean this like in a bad way, but they even said, well, why would anyone U-turn them? Like they're cancer survivors. That's not a reason to not U-turn them.
I know.
Especially because they're a strong team, so they don't need to be shown any mercy because they're showing, he keeps saying like, you U-turned, a 50 or 60-year-old man, like whatever it is. Like they're showing that he's a strong enough competitor that age is not slowing him down. So yeah, U-turn him. They're a strong team.
Right.
Exactly.
And that goes to our loyal follower, Heidi Bolero.
Heidi.
Yes.
Heidi even said that Phil tweeted, stop complaining about your age in regards to Dave and his comments because they are a strong team. Like, stop discrediting yourself. There's a reason why you're in the race still this far now. Not from your last season, you had that accident.
Yeah.
The Achilles.
Drink.
We've heard that one many times.
But you know what I mean? Like, stop. Just suck it up.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you for tweeting that because I actually didn't even know that Phil tweeted them out to say stop complaining. So thanks for bringing that up.
Right. I mean, it was nice the way he put it. It wasn't like, stop complaining, Dave.
Yeah.
So all the teams it's pretty much an equalizer up to the train station. And then we kind of see a little fumble with Jet and Cord. They're the only one that didn't make the first train out of Rome.
Because of bad directions.
Yes. Seems like a common trend in Amazing Race. Always some team has bad directions.
Always.
Bad directions.
Always.
Yeah.
So they fall behind and they call themselves the Lone Rangers. And then we see this alliance be formed.
Yes.
Called the Accidental Alliance. They all sit down together. First they get on, they see Brenchel, and then they kind of give them the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
Awkward, yes.
The stare down.
Stare down. Then they go to their separate car and kind of leave Brenchel there. And that's when we see the Afghanimals, Dave and Connor, and the country singers all have a little
love
fun
connection.
Fest.
Yes.
On Brenchel's behalf or at their expense. So
I wonder a little bit if some of these, like, for instance, I really like Leo and Jamal. And you know I like the country girls. And I'm wondering, do they really just with this, because the accidental alliance does annoy the hell out of me. I'll admit it. So maybe it's just the name. I don't know. But the thing is, I wonder if they're just if they're just wanting to join the Hate Brenchel bandwagon just so that they can be a part of this alliance. Because alliances, I do feel like, prove helpful in the race.
Who, Leo and Jamal?
Like Leo and Jamal. Like, I wonder if they're just kind of like, yeah, I'll bash on the Brenchel team if it's going to make me tight into this alliance. Like, sure, I'll join that bandwagon.
But that's where I will stop you, because you just said that they're bashing Brenchel. They're the only team in that alliance who is not bad-mouthed Brenchel. Because of the U-turn.
Right.
Yeah. It's been simply, they're a strong competitor. We want them out of the race. That is a respectable, like, I get it. But what a lot of the drama on Twitter was last night is that they feel like the country singers and Dave and Connor are bullying Brendan and Rachel. I feel like that's a little much. They're not bullying. Okay.
Both of them,
smack.
Both of them are such nice people. They have the biggest hearts. They are not...
Dave and Connor and the country singers.
Dave and Connor and the country girls. They are not bullying anyone. There is no ounce of bullying in their bodies.
Yeah.
They might be, upset, talking bad. Like, that's just part of the game. Just like Brenchel, they had the right to U-turn anyone they wanted. So all of this drama is really just nonsense because everybody is in the right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would completely agree. Yeah. But when it comes to social media, and this is when my heart goes out to Caroline and Jennifer, because it got a little too personal last night and a little carried away. Yeah. We saw that, I believe it was Caroline that tweeted out to go, you may not respect the way we run The Amazing Race, but to go as far as tweeting us like murder threats and murder tweets.
That's crazy.
That's too far.
That's crossing the line. And I get there's a lot of people out there that are part of this Brenchel army. I'm glad you guys have someone that you can be so passionate about on this race. You guys are super fans, I get it. But let's not forget about Rachel on Big Brother the first time she played. I went back and I watched clips last night to just be reminded that she and herself too was kind of a bully and kind of mean to certain people in the house. Yeah. That just because they didn't like her, she was nasty to them. So yes, she's come a long way since her first season of Big Brother. I'm not bashing her and I'm not discrediting her. But to hate on other teams for being upset with the move that they made, drop it. Like, don't take it personal. This is reality TV. You only see certain segments from their journey.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind that fans can take it that far.
Right.
And that's just it. We have to also remember, it's an entertainment show on television. And that's it. So like the fact that people get so worked up to where they're getting like
murder threats?
Yeah, like that's just it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, we are some of the most passionate fans of The Amazing Race. That's why we get to be here every single week. But I mean, but to go that far is crazy.
So yeah, Caroline and Jen, my heart goes out to you.
And I even said, hey, I'll be your bodyguard.
Yeah. Oh. Even I said I would be the bodyguard.
You got 3 bodyguards right here. So if anyone else comes back to you girls, we're...
For those people that watch our show on YouTube, they are laughing right now because no offense, James and Jess and myself, but we are not going to be able to stop a fly from attacking them, yet alone an angry fan from the Brenchel army.
All right, we're talking about, we're going to be the Twitter bodyguards, okay? We're going to stand up to you until our fingers work magic on Twitter.
Fair enough, because we're not going to be able to physically stop
No.
So I'm glad we could take a second to just address that, because I know it got really heated. I know our Twitters were blowing up with certain fans that are very vocal about Brenchel. Again, as people, we've hung out with them. We're basing our opinion on what we are seeing on the show. In real life, we went to a Kings game with them. They were fun. We enjoyed ourselves with them. But we're just basing it on an episode.
The show,
For sure.
So moving forward, hopefully everyone can
take a breather.
And breathe.
Well said, James and Jess. Well done.
So this is kind of where the episode I get bored. Okay. They go to Altdorf. They go to the Tell Monument, where they are told to wait until sunrise for William Tell to give them their next clue.
And who the hell is William Tell?
We still don't know. It was like this old guy walking with a little boy. Like,
where's Amy Diaz on our couch?
Yeah, I hate to sound so uneducated because we're supposed to be the experts here, but I kind of watched it being like, who's that?
William
I don't
Tell.
know.
Boring.
I just Googled it because we don't have Amy Diaz on our couch over here to fill us in. William Tell, he's from Switzerland, which of course is a folk hero of Switzerland. His legend is recorded in late 15th century. Okay, I'm bored.
Yeah, so that kind of takes up.
Check that box.
That's the excitement level of this episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
you got it.
Setting the tone. So they get their clue from William Tell, and they are instructed to go to another town in Switzerland by the name of Lucerne.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they have to find that chapel bridge for their next clue.
Yeah.
It's all these little stupid stops along the way to get their route info.
Yeah.
I was like, where's the detour?
I know.
Where's the detour?
So.
We just like to have you race.
Yeah. Although, okay, so as they were driving, once again, I have to quote my favorite guy, Leo. He was like, my GPS brain, you want me to take you here, I'll take you there immediately. I think they're so hilarious.
They are hilarious. They are the stars.
No.
I know, but there was a moment there where I was kind of like, ooh, girls, watch out, the country singers.
Yeah.
Because during that, I could just hear every girl out there being pissed because because the girls were not helping the stereotype where they were like, we just need to follow the boys because they're so good at directions. And I was like, that's true. I mean, come on, we're guys. We get it. I'm just saying. I just heard every single female out there being like, oh my God, girl.
Okay, so this particular episode, the girls definitely just let the boys carry them. I mean, I'm not going to lie, they've held themselves so well in this race. They've done amazing. But this episode, they definitely put all their eggs into...
But it's worked for them.
It worked. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I don't think they would have gotten last place if it wasn't for the roadblock being so hard for an all-female team.
Exactly.
Like, that was a huge disadvantage, which we'll get to, because, again, I have to hand it to Caroline for even doing that to begin with, because she kicked butt, whether, anyways.
So they go to this bridge. What interesting was
They
that...
go to this bridge.
Yeah, but Brenchel decided to try to be clever, right? And they were like, what if we pull off and act like we're going to be lost, blah, blah, blah. And it ended up backfiring, and they pull off in the wrong spot. And so as all the teams were driving together to this... this wooden historic bridge, they go to the wrong way, and then all of a sudden we find that Brenchel's in the back of the pack. Mm-hmm. And it's not very often that you see Brenchel in the back of the pack.
I was kind of happy.
And you saw them instantly get into a bit of a panic mode.
Oh, yeah, especially Brendan.
Yeah, they were not happy about it. And just to kind of quickly move on. So yeah, these teams on the bridge, they get another clue.
The Accidental Alliance pulls forward.
Yep. And they need to go to...
Schweizerhof.
Yeah, I have Schweizerhof Hotel.
Hotel Schweizerhof.
Yes, because they have to now clean a trashed hotel room.
Again, where's the detour? Yeah. This was pretty cool. I mean, it was fun to see them, like,
it was kind of funny.
Put on the maid outfits.
Yeah, I liked the uniforms. I did, and I loved me some Helga.
Helga was a rock star.
Yeah.
She made the episode what it was.
She did. I want to be friends with Helga just to try to crack her.
Yeah, I loved
buy
Helga.
her a beer and just try to make her smile.
I even tweeted Rachel and I said, Helga better. Well, I tweeted Rachel about Helga. I said, I guarantee you, Helga told all their employees that they have to now wear knee-high green socks.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like,
it worked with the outfit.
Rachel pulled it off.
Yeah. Gosh.
That's awesome.
And I loved how Jet and Cord were like, oh man, now my wife's going to know I actually know how to use this stupid vacuum. That was pretty funny.
And then even Caroline and Jen, being singers, they've hung out with a lot of rockers. They're like, oh, we've seen a lot of rocker rooms before. This is no brainer. So that's Hotel Schweizerhof.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Miss Helga.
And it was challenging. It seemed kind of tough for these teams.
I think it would get exhausting having to go from the room that you're cleaning and then running to the sample room just to kind of see where everything was placed to be 100% accurate.
And you had to certainly pay attention to detail because some of them, it was, as little as just turning like this light switch facing down instead of out, or pulling the Kleenex out just perfectly.
And the toilet paper.
Yeah, the toilet paper. And some of these things are just like, I mean, when you check into a hotel room, you don't notice those things, but it is those little things that make a difference.
I also learned something new about Rachel. Was that because, remember, they were behind because of the bridge, and then Brendan said, well, we should be pretty good at this challenge because Rachel used to be a housekeeper at a hotel, apparently.
A maid for 4 years.
She was a maid for 4 years.
Yeah, but actually, I saw that comment. There's something that was said on Twitter. I could be wrong, but I think he kind of retracted what he meant by that, and it was just because she was a VIP cocktail waitress in Vegas.
Oh. So I knew she was in Vegas.
Okay, a maid cocktail waitress.
But I think she's probably seen like that kind of.
Oh.
Maybe worked in the hospitality industry. They made it seem like she had been cleaning hotel rooms. I was just like, wow.
She's done a lot of things. Calligraphy.
She's
an artiste.
She's an artiste. And
geez, she's just ranking up her talents here.
But they did catch a little bit of ground here because they did still finish last in the challenge, but they were right behind other teams.
Right behind, yeah.
So they're catching up.
They are catching up. This is
This
is where also I feel like Brinchel's strategy at U-turning Dave and Connor in last week's episode wasn't the best idea, because we all know that Jet and Cord go through these challenges and kill it every time. I kept track. Yep. They pretty much were the first to leave every challenge this entire leg, and they were neck and neck to the pit stop. So let's just say last week, had they U-turned the Cowboys, would they have been towards the top, or maybe they would have been at the bottom? Who knows? Maybe they would have made a mistake and been eliminated. But just to have that opportunity to maybe eliminate a strong competitor like that, they should have taken advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're good. So they're really good.
They're really good. So we see all the teams leave the hotel, and then they head to the Swiss Museum of Transport. Another little stop on the way.
So exciting! A transport museum. Wow!
Yay! Woo! Let's just start this big
product
metal
placement. But before they could even go in to do the challenge, they had to identify that ugly object.
Yeah.
I would have just stood at it and be like, are you kidding me? Budget cuts? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, seriously, like what?
I'd identify this object. Awesome. But of course, this is where we see Dave and Connor step it up and help their alliance. They help the country singers. They help the young
Jet and Cord, once again, knew it off the bat. Drilling hole. Dave and Connor, Dave knew it. It was a tunnel driller. Jamal and Leo, they said to measure something, or a calculator. Okay, I don't know why they said calculator. That is the biggest calculator in like the world. Anyways, so that was pretty funny. And then Dave and Connor helped out Leo and Jamal.
Yeah.
And then once Caroline and Jen came there, they helped them, told them right off the bat what it was.
Mm-hmm. So they were easy. Like that wasn't like a easy breeze for them.
Easy.
Yeah. So then Rachel comes up, or Brenchel, they roll up, and they had like two guesses, and then they asked the locals what it was, and they said it was a wheel car. What did she say? Anyways, she said, or a train. She said a train.
But the thing is that it wasn't really even. You're right. It was like the producers kind of just like gave up, because it was one of those things where if you didn't know it, it wasn't like you had to then solve this clue or riddle. You could just ask a passerby who was walking, like, "Oh, what is this? It's a drill. Oh, it's a drill. Congratulations, you go on the next challenge."
And asked,
Like there wasn't even an exciting thing that you had to do to figure it out.
No challenge.
You know, where I don't know.
I agree. It was just kind of like, okay.
We need 45 seconds to like still fill. So let's just have them ask someone walking by what this is.
Right. Yeah. Then they get to the Ford Mustangs, the American dream.
I don't know if you guys have seen those commercials though. I don't know if you've seen those commercials, but they're great. They grab my attention.
What commercials?
The American Dream.
Did not grab my
the American Dream, like Ford Mustang commercials.
Got
and have
it.
you seen most of them are like people who are over 100 years old in one of the commercials? It was so cute. And like one of them's behind the wheel, he's like, vroom, vroom. Okay, sorry, I just had to.
That's the most exciting I've seen about this whole episode is the Ford product placement. By the way,
let's show the commercial.
Yeah, maybe we should just go back to commercials or watch some new Vines.
And if any of you would like to join what I do during the Amazing Race is every week I do a new drinking game, and so definitely my newest one's going to be every time you hear the word Ford, you see a Ford, they show an up close shot, you do a shot. It used to be Achilles heel, done. Accidental Alliance is a new shot, and then now Ford shot. I promise you'll be having the best time 40 minutes into it, because you're going to have about 22 shots.
Right.
Indeed.
So this is a great drinking game. You'll just get hammered. Okay.
We should make a list for all our viewers for the finale episodes, because it's a 2-hour special probably, like normally, and then have like a list of things like take a shot every time.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then we can do it if we go to Vegas for the finale.
Yeah.
And we can
and
do it
then
ourselves.
Vine yourself doing the shot while watching the Amazing Race.
Only if you're over 21 years old.
Right.
Yes. And not driving.
Look at us. We're
trying to
backtrack the episode. Okay, so back to the Swiss Museum of Transport. They have to do like the Ford Mustang stuff, and they have to use the formula on the back of their clue to figure out the year and the make or whatever, the year of the Ford Mustang that they took the clue off of. Okay.
Boring. Let's do some math.
You didn't really get to see the teams, though, really figuring it out. It was more like you see them running around this structure, seeing all the numbers and just talking about it. And then all of a sudden, 30 seconds later, a team's leading.
We got it.
I just think it was super easy. And that's why I think they had all these random things just to fill time, because nothing was really that challenging except for, and we're about to get to it.
What?
Oh, the roadblock?
Yeah, the roadblock. That was the challenging part.
Oh, okay.
Well, again, Jet and Cord left that point
Yep.
first place. Another reason why they should have been U-turn last week. Dave and Connor, the Afghanimals, Country Singers, and then Brunchel.
Were you? I was surprised. I mean, it was pretty neck and neck. I feel like because when Leo and Jamal, when they finished, Brunchel had already arrived.
Yeah.
And I understand the need for alliances and being friends, but once again, I was really surprised that the Afghanimals went back to help out, only because if for any reason Brunchel would have shown up, immediately understood the challenge, looked up, and happened to see their numbers, all of a sudden they could have been like, you know, like where it was. I feel like it was a little too close for Leo and Jamal to go. I don't know.
Especially because he went back.
These alliance things. I mean, I get the need for it, but at the same time, like you can see the final two teams are both there. This is not the time to be like, oh, let me help you. This is the time to be like, I need to get the hell out of here and stay ahead of the pack.
You know, I think that Leo and Jamal did it because I truly think deep down inside they really wanted Brunchel out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They're competitors.
for sure.
Well, you even hear Leo and Jamal say, we have a better shot in the final three if we're with Dave and Connor and Caroline and Jennifer. And I agree.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So get them out. Let's help the girls to get them.
They know they can beat the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So
keep them around.
But that goes back to the Twitter comments. Just because Leo and Jamal are associated with the bullies of Brunchel doesn't mean Leo and Jamal are bullies. They're doing nothing but saying that they're strong competitors. Yeah. And you can't help but agree with that. If you respect Brunchel's gameplay, they are competitors.
Right.
And that is Leo and Jamal just acknowledging they need to go.
Yeah.
It's a compliment. So hopefully Leo and Jamal. I like this though about Leo and Jamal because we're seeing the real Leo and Jamal. We've hung out with them a few times. And also, their last season, they weren't really prone to helping other teams.
No.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like this is just a change of heart.
Yeah. They've raced the race very differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised. I wouldn't have done it.
But it was risky because even when they were on the way to the roadblock, those three cars were neck and neck.
And that's why I brought it up, was because you truly did see that they didn't give themselves enough space to be I would have been freaking out.
Right.
Because I've been like, I know we should have left earlier. We should have left earlier.
Yeah.
So before we move on to the roadblock, let's talk about some shout outs because there's some really fun people that have been interacting with us on Twitter all week since last week's episode that have been commenting on our YouTube.
Really great.
So our Twitter shout outs are for Luzvern.
Sure.
He was tweeting me today, or she, I don't know.
Do you have it spelled?
It's Luzvirm.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
They were tweeting us today.
Yeah, great.
So thank you. Glad you're watching our show. I'm glad we can entertain.
Yep.
Connor J. Wilson has been watching this since the first time we started even doing these after show, and he's been so loyal. I don't think we've ever given him a shout out. So Connor J. Wilson,
Connor, you're the best.
Thank you
so much. Then we have It's Dave_1. Kara Martinez, she's another vocal one. And Snowmets, aka Shannon, has never missed one of our shows. She's probably watching live right now. So we just wanted to give you a shout out as well. And then last but not least, one of our last Twitter followers, Heidi Bolero.
Heidi! She's like kind of become our like ghost fourth host. Yeah. Because every week we always talk about her comments on our after show, which is great because she really is so interactive with us. Mm-hmm. I also wanted to say, I mean, every week we talk about how appreciative we are of all of our YouTube followers and that they watch us on YouTube. But I found the comments this week, I feel like were really educated, great responses.
They were.
When you go onto YouTube, it wasn't just like, you know, every week they're great, but this week it was more than just like, I agree. It was just like, this is what I think, and this is what I think will be the top 10. There was a lot of thought, and you can tell that the followers of Amazing Race and those that are watching our show, they are true fans because they write crazy good stuff.
But it's also across the board with agreeing with us that this season just isn't cutting it, and everyone's just kind of ready for season 25.
Yeah.
So,
but luckily, most of our listeners still think that we are, because 4.5 this week, James.
Yes.
Once again, a 4.5 rating. So Oh, look at the applause. Come on. So once again, if you guys download the podcast, please make sure you continue to, if you love the show, give us those positive ratings because we do compete with one another here at AfterBuzz.
Yes.
And we are loving the fact that each and every week we are at near the very tip top as far as ratings. So thank you guys so much.
And as you can tell, we love the comments. So keep the comments coming and the tweets.
Because we reply.
We love it. Yeah.
What other podcasts do that?
We're the best.
We do.
And the last shout out I want to give is to an Instagrammer by the name of Konski Hogan, and I believe his name is Connor Hogan.
Okay.
And he also commented on our YouTube as well. So thank you for reaching out to us.
That's great.
Yay.
Awesome.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Awesome. Rate, comment, subscribe. 4.5 stars.
All right.
What was that?
I said rate, comment, subscribe.
Okay.
Rate, comment, subscribe. Moving on to the roadblock.
I was like, we're here to talk about the show.
We should have had some milk for our drinks tonight.
Oh, we should have.
Or just a
instead
few
of
dogs.
The vodka.
Oh my gosh, we should have dogs to give away to our viewers or something. You get a dog. You get a dog. You get a
easy,
dog.
Oprah.
I wanted one of the
Easy.
dogs.
We're losing it here.
We are
because
in
this
know.
episode, like pulling straws here.
This is, I promise you, this conversation is more entertaining than the episode was. But this challenge was good. I mean, I liked this part of it.
It was beautiful
because there were
too.
dogs.
I think for one of our after shows, I'm calling totally off topic right now. I can't even speak right now. I'm so sorry. So, have you ever seen The People's Couch on Bravo?
Yeah.
Where people come together and they watch the show and then they comment on it. That should be our after show one week. We should literally just play it and then just do
Comment as we watch.
live comments.
We should do that.
You know, the producers in our booth right now are just looking at us like,
oh,
stop creating all these ridiculous challenges for us to produce here at AfterBuzz. James,
The
sit
shots
down
game,
and you talk about the show. I love it. I'm just saying.
Gotta step it
I
up a
love
notch. Gotta take it to a 5-star. Okay, roadblock, milk, awesome. Ober Reichenbach.
I love the idea. I'm not kidding.
Milk.
I think it'd be funny.
It would. I would love that.
Have some water in our mugs.
We're gonna need a lot of that quote unquote water. All right.
So Ober Reichenbach. Mm-hmm. This is funny when everyone kind of arrives at this because you hear Jet and Cord even go, "I would hate to be in a spelling bee in Switzerland."
Oh yeah, that was funny.
So Ober Reichenbach, the milk tanker, it was called "Don't Cry Over Spilt Milk." Mm-hmm. So teams had to pick a dog and a cart to transport empty milk containers to one of 2 dairy farmers, which can only be reached by one of 2 gondolas.
Yes.
And I think you and I picked up very quickly tonight when we were watching it that one of the gondolas probably went faster than the other one. There's probably, like, I pictured this gondola is slower, but the
farmer was closer.
And then this one's faster, but you have to go a further distance.
Yes.
Oh, I did not pick up on that.
I just kind of thought because it's like you have 2 choices, but they're not both going to be the same choice.
Right.
Something's got to be a little bit more challenging. So that was just my theory on the whole thing. But we see Cord take on the challenge. We see Leo, Connor, Brendan, and Caroline.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of this roadblock?
I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. Riding the gondola, like hanging out with the dogs. I loved it. I think though, as a woman, I think it would have been a lot harder for the women just carrying it and walking through the snow. I mean, just having, more arm muscle and that would have worked to your advantage. But
I agree. I think that's why Rachel didn't do it.
And she was smart not to.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was definitely a strength challenge.
Same with Dave and Connor. I'm glad Connor did it because, Dave would have just suffered a little bit more.
Yeah.
The only thing that bugged me about this one was I really liked the idea of it. I liked the setup. It involved dogs. So as far as like the recipe that the producers chose for a challenge, I thought, well, this was great. And maybe it was just me and I watched it odd, but I found the editing for this challenge confusing because I feel like it became very unclear who was where.
Yeah.
Because they made a big deal about when they were arriving all to the challenge. It was definitely edited to where you saw all the cars arriving together. So it was like a big deal. They're all right next to each other. And then all of a sudden I got really confused with who was who. And then all of a sudden you see the country girls at the end, and then they made it seem like Brenchel finished like 2nd or 3rd when in fact they finished
3rd,
4th.
Fourth.
It was very confusing to figure out who was doing well in that challenge and who wasn't. And I don't know, James, maybe I was just watching it poorly and distracted, but I found this challenge, it was shot beautifully, but I had no clue who was in the pack, who was struggling, who was behind. It was like, what the hell's going on?
It wasn't very consistent to me to really understand what was going on.
Yeah. And,
like most of this episode.
It was weird because they really showed Connor, struggling with the milk things.
Yeah.
And then Brendan and Cord just kind of whipped through it. And then they really focused on Caroline struggling. So.
Yeah, it was.
It was weird, but.
I thought Cord's comment was hilarious when he was picking out the dog.
Yeah.
It was named like a leaky or something crazy.
Yeah.
And he's like, my dog, he's in his little interview. He's like, oh, my dog Max. And it's like, it wasn't Max. And he's like, it was named
Max. Yeah.
I want one of those dogs.
So good. But yeah, it was a little hard to follow this, but we saw a little bit of the Brendan drama. I don't know if you picked up on the
with the
riding in the
fog.
Yes.
Rides in the fog. The
frosted
Amazing
glass.
Race 24 winners.
And Connor did not like that so much.
Connor was just like, a race.
Yeah.
No way. And that was gutsy. I mean, would you have done that?
Written on there?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, he probably would have.
I mean, I would have been bored going up that gondola. I would probably tic-tac-toe by myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have because if I was on the race, I'm definitely one of those that I want to. I want to. No, I want to be. I really would want to. I'd be the guy in the alliance just to ride people's coattails along. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to ruffle feathers, and that's my MO is that I'm gonna be that friendly guy. Even if in my mind I'm like, screw these people, but that's my style of race. I feel like. So I wouldn't have wanted to stir the pot, but it does not surprise me at all that Team Brenchel was trying to stir the pot. They lived to stir the pot. So of course Brendan wrote that on the glass. Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Of course. And then poor Caroline.
I know.
Taking a little slip and fall. And that's when I tweeted, if Allie and Ashley were on this season, they would have skated right through.
I know. I felt bad. And it was already, a hard task to do physically. And then she had to do it with the sore back and falling on ice. That is killer. And it looked like she hit her head. So
but you didn't really hear her complain about it much either.
No, and
she really put up with it, sucked it up. And so I'm gonna say I like them.
And that's another thing.
But I mean,
even though they knew they were in the back and they were the last people to finish the challenge, she still had a great attitude. She was still enjoying the scenery. And when she saw the dog, she said, dogs can always make you happy no matter what. And she played with her little animal. And then Jen was so supportive, saying I'm so proud of you.
They're sweet girls.
They are. And their chemistry together, it's just, you can't not love them. And I'm happy that, with their positivity and karma and how sweet they've been and how they've done this race fair and square, I think it's good that they got another non-elimination.
Yeah.
Right.
Good for them.
And like Caroline said in her tweet last night, you may not respect the way they race the game, but at the end of the day, they're good people. Yeah. They're good girls. So
leave them alone on Twitter.
Leave them alone.
Now, it was really interesting, though, because, like I said, I was a little confused on that whole aspect, but I loved what happened next as far as them having to race to the top of this mountain.
Yeah.
It was great. Lead us in, James.
Well, I mean, it was just neck and neck with the Afghanimals, the Cowboys, and Dave and Connor. I really thought the Afghanimals had it in the bag at one point.
Yeah, because... go ahead.
Yeah, I thought so, too. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, I found it really interesting because, Dave and Connor got to this gondola ride really quickly, but then the Cowboys did. But the Dave and Connor were right. They're like, we need to get on this first gondola because we can't beat the Cowboys in a foot race. And then all of a sudden, Leo and Jamal also show up. And so all of a sudden, you see these three teams all in the same... Talk about tension and anticipation for when those doors open. I'm sure I always think about the camera guys when I watch The Amazing Race, and I'm sure these camera guys they're stretching out this is gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
we better be ready to run.
If I was on that gondola, I would have been get out of the way. These people are booking it.
Yeah.
But the one thing I was a little surprised about was Connor was kind of a little negative towards his dad. I mean, he was being realistic that, okay, we're not going to be able to win this foot race, but it was almost as if he was kind of giving up, oh, here it is. we're going to get third. We're going to be the third place. And that was a little surprising to me because
didn't have faith in their physical abilities.
Yeah. Or, they did get first, so you never know. You can't put those negative thoughts in your head, especially when it's, down to the last four teams.
Yeah, and I think maybe that they're showing this side of them too, because if they end up winning the whole show, it's going to be like they went from the top to the bottom, and it's like, wow, here we are.
Yeah.
I'll only edit, but yeah. So they get off this gondola, and it's a mad scramble, but it was also mad confusing. It was not just you step out, there's the mountain, and there's film. No, you were in this like weird like tunnel and maze. You're going through ice. And so this is when, sometimes it's better to have stop and use your brains over stop and use your physical ability. Because right away, Dave and Connor were like, we're just blindly following each other. Maybe let's take a timeout, not just follow these two other teams into some random corner of this mountain. Let's stop, look where we're at, and go our own way.
Right. That's why Connor even said, we're going to get third either way, so we might as well.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they ended up getting first.
Yep.
And my favorite line in this whole thing was when Leo and Jamal did enter the gondola for the first time. They said, we just flew in here on our magic carpet.
It was great.
Then when they're one-liners. And I don't know if you caught this, but they even said it was 5 degrees Celsius. And so I wanted to look it up. It means it was 23 degrees.
It's cold. And you could see it was
freezing.
Yeah. Not only that, but the elevation. I cannot imagine how physically demanding that would be on all the teams.
Oh, yeah. And running through, not even just being cold, but it was obviously windy, especially when Jennifer and Caroline came.
Oh, my gosh.
They were like blown away. The elevation and the freezing cold temperature and just running up that mountain, that would have been... Yeah. I mean, that's a challenge in itself. Mm-hmm. So Dave and Connor got first, and I got chills when they were hugging, and they were so surprised that they got first.
And their prize was also unbelievable.
Oh, I know.
So yeah, what they did was, once again, Ford drink. We talked about Mustangs all episode long, but they are going to be getting the new model, the new like
2015
Ford. It's not even out yet, but they're going to have it before anyone else does, rocking out in their new Mustang.
And I think
Connor, you're gonna look good in that one.
Well, I think even last season, I think someone commented. Remember when Travis and Nicole won their cars? Mm-hmm. Someone, I believe, commented on our YouTube, and they said the teams that normally win the cars don't win the race.
Interesting.
It's like a curse, and it's the same with Survivor. Usually, if you win the car, you don't end up winning the show. But who knows? Maybe
we'll see.
Hopefully, it didn't curse them. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there was someone that won a car and also won the show. But I just
very happy to
comment.
Yeah,
I'll take it. And I think the Cowboys were very happy to take place number 2.
Yeah.
With Leo and Jamal right behind them in third. And then we have Brenchel in 4th place. And again, I think maybe the singers would have gotten 4th had the roadblock not been so difficult and if they had help from one of the guys. But we see Brenchel say, I think it was Brendan that said karma's going to come back and haunt them. I don't see how karma is going to affect them so much in the game. Do you think what he said might be valid, or?
I know.
Because I think karma might come back for Brenchel.
I was going to say, if there's any team that should be talking about karma, and I'm not talking about the U-turn, I'm not, but if any team should be talking about karma, it's probably going to be Brenchel. I mean, they're not like the friendliest racers of them all.
They're not there to make friends. She said that over and over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They should not be talking about karma.
And then we see the singers, and they get 5th.
Saved again.
And of course, non-elimination. It's the second time this season that they've been spared by the non-elimination leg. So congratulations, ladies. You got luck on your side. And we, see them obviously really supportive and positive, regardless of the outcome, that they're in it. That's when they decide that they're ready to win.
They're like, okay, we got a lot of luck on our side. We're going to win this.
At that point, James and I watched this episode together, and I looked at him, I was like, wait, Jed, just now they're like, you'd think when they ask you to be on the Amazing Race, you're like, let's win this.
Yeah.
And I like how like, we should maybe now let's try to win this.
I'd be curious to know, maybe they thought they never had a prayer
chance.
So that's why maybe they're so willing to let the guys help them, because it's like, if you help us, you're going to win at the end of the day.
Yeah, just let us keep going off the adventure.
You can't fault the guys helping the country singers, because that is strategy, because at the end of the day, they're not going to win the final leg. No offense to them. I just don't see it happening.
Girls, believe in yourselves. All right.
Do it.
So let's get into, did you guys watch the predictions?
Heck yeah, let's talk about next week.
It's going to be so good.
Your AfterBuzz TV
predictions. Mount Teatless.
You take it away.
No, go ahead.
No, you.
Justin, you're going first.
Justin, you're always first.
I know. So predictions of what I think is going to happen. I'm always the worst one on this. Like I'm always way off.
Yeah.
But here we go. I love my country girls, and I know they're in an alliance. However, they've been in the bottom. They've been almost eliminated twice.
Yeah.
So watch them like win the whole damn thing. But I mean, I really do think because they're gonna have to have a speed bump, whatnot. So I'm sorry, girls. I love you, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to pull this off.
Yeah.
Even with the help of the alliance, I think Brent will have they're fighting too hard. So everyone else is just so damn good. If not, I love Leo and Jamal, but no. What do you guys?
All right, so I have to say my country girls have just dominated this whole race. I love you guys so much.
They?
Yeah.
Dominated the pretty
Okay,
strong
maybe not.
word.
Okay, they've hung in
This
there.
is your time. Sorry.
They've hung on to
made
other
the
people.
girls proud. Girl team, the only girl team. You guys are phenomenal.
That's true.
However, I do think you guys had stayed in twice now by luck, and you've made great friends, a great alliance. I think unless those other two teams really help you out, you might be the ones going home, but it's been a great race. I would love to see Rachel and Brendan gone, but I think they're going to stay in to try to fight it. And I am excited to see Leo and Jamal U-turn someone because it showed it in the little preview for next week.
I'm stoked about next week only because of those bouncy bowl things.
Oh my god!
And seeing, no offense,
it's gonna get
but seeing Rachel fly like that is hilarious. I mean, no hard feelings. Rachel, you make great television, so it's just funny to watch.
It's gonna be great.
Watching that gave me anxiety because I'm so claustrophobic. I would not be good at that. What's your prediction?
I was trying to think of the other thing in the clip. It was the balloon where Connor shaved it and it popped.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what that's all about. And then also the double U-turn. So stoked about the Afghan seeing what they're up to. And I think they're going to U-turn Brenchel based on the alliance that they have with the other two teams.
I agree.
And I think Brenchel's going to see it, and then they're going to have no choice but to U-turn. And I think in this point they should U-turn the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That is
But
their
will they do it?
strength. That's a good point. They didn't do it the last time. Maybe they'll make up for their last mistake.
There you go.
So it'll be interesting to see who gets U-turned, and I think that the Cowboys will go home because they keep mentioning that they're the Lone Rangers, and I think the Lone Rangers are gonna. It's gonna be their downfall.
Ooh, you got your little production mind going on.
I do. I'm sorry, and then just even the Afghanimals too. It's I think that because they're on the outs of their 3-team alliance. I mean, Carolyn and Jennifer even said they're the 4 Musketeers. You don't see them really mentioning Leo and Jamal. That could be their Afghanimals' downfall too. So,
but of course,
so we all guess different people.
We guess different people, but of course, what do you all think? Those that are watching on YouTube, listening in your cars right now. I've been loving. Last week they did it. They went onto YouTube and they listed all their predictions. I want to see this week.
Yes.
Are we in line with our listeners, or are they something completely different?
Yeah.
So rate, comment, subscribe, tweet us, let us know your thoughts. Justin, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on just about every social media site with the name @Justin J Nichols, Nichols.
And you can find me at DressJessXO.
And a big thanks again to Colt Paulson for giving us permission to show his Vine tonight on our after show. Make sure you go follow him on Vine and on Twitter @Colt Paulson. And I'm your host, James Wallington, and you can find me on Twitter @James Wallington and on Instagram @Mr. James Wally. Until next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.